Hey folks, many of you have heard that MREs, meals ready to eat, are a good option for camping, hunting, backpacking, prepping, or any situation where you need a grab-and-go meal that's ready to eat and easy to store, easy to take care of. Before you go ordering a whole case of brown bags of mystery meat, let's open one up so you can have a look inside. Alright, hopefully you can hear me alright. It's kind of windy out here. Today I've got my Gerber Evo. This thing's probably due for an upgrade. I've put some pretty good wear on it, but it's a knife I've carried for a while. But that's beside the point. Let's talk MREs. So this is a genuine government issue MRE. I would really recommend the GI MREs over any civilian MRE, the food ready to go or just big bag of stuff. Because this is actually what's designed for soldiers to have enough calories to carry them through the day. It's designed to store for a long time. A lot of the civilian ones aren't really actually designed to be that good. They're just designed for you to buy them because they're mostly targeting preppers, people who want to just have a whole bunch of food that they don't have to think about, just food they can store away for later. But that doesn't do you that much good if the food is nasty and not something you want to eat. So I would really recommend these genuine government ones. And how do you know it's the genuine one? A lot of them are from Sopatco or other distributors, but they also do civilian versions. The legitimate ones will say US government property commercial resale is unlawful. But of course you actually can buy these commercially. Once they are checked out, once they are unfrozen and issued for a deployment or a training mission or anything, they can't be refrozen. They can't be put back anywhere else. And so a whole lot of these, whether it's National Guard or whether it's Army or whoever, a lot of these are issued and then can't be put back. And so they end up either being given away, being sold at surplus stores, or even being sold at eBay. There's some information you need to know about checking the date of these. They have a use date and an inspect date, and generally I can go into other details on that later, but those dates are fairly approximate, but still a good thing to go by as far as when you should use these meals. That being said, let's go ahead and open it up. So it comes in this Mylar plastic that supposedly, I think it's irradiated and it's definitely opaque enough that light can't get through, bacteria can't get through, anything like that. So the first thing we have is our entree. It comes in this box. This one is a chicken breast fillet, seasoned and grilled. This actually sounds like one of the better MREs. Now there are different packages. There are at least 2 cases that I know of, an A and a B. And each one comes with 12 different meals. So if you order the Alpha case, you have 12 completely different meals than in the Bravo case. And some of them are pretty good. Some of them are absolutely horrible. But it's all different, so you're not going to be getting the same thing in every meal. So this is a chicken breast fillet. That's pretty decent, actually. I've had that one before, and it's one of my preferred meals. What is this? Minestrone stew. Alright, so that's our kind of hot side item, our big side item. And then this looks like, is this bread? No, it's a fudge brownie. So as you can see, everything is in an airtight foil packet. We got M&Ms in this one. It's interesting, a lot of these are all government contractors, and on the outside they can't use any branding. You'd have no idea that there's just a commercial regular candy in there, but that's what we got, M&Ms. Most of them come with a beverage. Actually, they all come with a beverage. So this is basically a hot chocolate. A lot of them come with a warm and a cool beverage, like a Gatorade powder or something. I'm not seeing that in this one, so I guess that's just what it's got. Now you get this handy little packet, and these are actually really good to store away. if you have them left over after the MRE. So let's go ahead and open this up. You got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Okay, there's our cold drink mix. You get iced tea, spiced cider, another hot drink mix, a moist towelette, seasoning blend, salt free. Here we go. Onion, garlic, spices, carrot, parsley, tomato. So it's almost like a soup seasoning or something like that. You get salt, you get your gum, you get a napkin and or toilet paper depending on what your urgent need is at the time. And lastly and most importantly, you get your heater pack. Now this, you put a little bit of water in here and it has a chemical reaction and it actually warms everything up. I realized I forgot something. The wheat snack bread is basically a loaf of bread that somebody sat on. So this is just a general idea of what's in an MRE. You always have a hot entree. You normally have one hot side. Those can actually go in the heater at the exact same time. You normally have a cold side. Usually it's crackers or bread or something like that. It's all just calories. So you get a lot of dense carbs in this type of stuff. And a dessert item, which is also, it's basically a brownie that somebody sat on. So it's lots of dense carbs, lots of calories. Now this one's kind of unusual that it came with 2 hot drinks. They don't always. But that gives you a general idea of what's in there. As you can see, this is a whole lot of food. And so if you're camping or backpacking, this will definitely be a very complete meal. And that's what it's designed to be. It's designed to be your big meal of the day. And a lot of people are confused about how these are used when they're actually deployed. These are for soldiers to throw in their pack and take them with them. If you're in any sort of permanent camp, you're gonna have some sort of mess set up. So if you are just at a regular campsite, I wouldn't recommend MREs. If you can cook, I would recommend cooking. Come up with something delicious, make it yourself. I would recommend that. But where I really use MREs is if I'm out hunting and I don't really have time or place to cook, or if I'm backpacking and I just don't want to fool with it, or I don't want to have to boil extra water just for cooking, because pretty much all backpacking food is dehydrated, so you need extra water. So that's kind of how I use them. You can eat all of this stuff cold, as of course it is a meal ready to eat, but it's about like eating cold soup out of the can. It's not very enjoyable, but if you're desperate, it could work. So when we open up our hot items, this is our minestrone stew. You see it comes in this foil pouch. It's pretty dense in there. Let's go ahead and open up the chicken breast. I imagine that one's a little thinner. It's probably just a chicken breast that's pretty compressed. Yep, it's a chicken triangle. Kind of reminds me of the chicken South Americas they served on the styrofoam tray in elementary school if you unfortunately went to public schools like I did. Now to get these going in the heater, you just take them, stack them on top of each other. You can do them both at the same time. If you just want one heated, obviously you only have to do one. You don't have to have that amount of material. So you take your heater, it's pretty obvious, it tells you where to open it up. So you just rip that open. You open up your heater. Slide these in. If it wants to go in. Get the other one in. And it doesn't want to go in there. That's what she said. There you go. You get it in there, give it a bit of shake, go all the way to the bottom. Now what you'll do is you'll take your water, you'll just take a little bit of water, not much, pour it in there. And it only needs to go up to that line, so that's not a lot at all. We're almost there. Give it a tiny bit more. If you don't have quite enough water, it will still work. It just takes a little bit longer. And if you have too much, really what I've found is it just spills everywhere. You just end up wasting it. And then you take this fold, you fold it over your meal, and just let it sit. If you can fit it back in the box, I know some people try to put it back in the box, and that basically works as an insulator. So all your heat kind of stays in there. And then you just let that simmer for about 5 minutes or so. So we're just gonna use some cooking show magic and let that cook. All right, well this has been going for a few minutes. It probably just needs a few more minutes left and then it should be ready to open up. In the meantime, let's open up everything else. So that's our minestrone stew. That's what's cooking in here along with the chicken breast. So this is the wheat bread snack. Oh, I tore it. Yeah, it's basically just super dense wheat bread, kind of crumbly. It does come with a little desiccant packet to hopefully absorb some of the moisture. Hey, don't eat this. But that's that. It's alright. I mean, it just tastes like fairly bland wheat bread. Let's open up our fudge brownie. Pretty much just looks like a wheat bread snack that's brown with the same little Stay Fresh pack. Not much of a brownie, but again, if you're hungry, that's awesome. And we've got some jelly for our bread. It's not too cold today. It's probably about 55 or 60 degrees, so I'm gonna hold off on making any of the drinks. But of course, you got your M&Ms too. So let's go ahead and open these up and see where we are. Just take it out of the heater pack. Might need some more time. Feels warm but not hot. It'll get pretty hot if you give it the time. So I'm gonna let it keep simmering just a little bit. Alright, I let this simmer for a little while longer while I worked on some of this stuff. Let's see if we're ready to go. I also put it inside the Mylar bag, which might help a little bit. I don't know if it makes any difference. Putting it in the cardboard seems to help though. So let's take it out. Yeah, now we're cooking with bacon. Actually, I wish we were cooking with bacon. That would taste better than an MRE. But this is what I got. It's warm though. So that's the chicken triangle. What do they say? What do they call it? Chicken breast fillet, seasoned and grilled. Let's put that back in there and open up the minestrone stew. So here's another little camping trick that I like to do. Shake that down to the bottom. When you open it up, peel it all the way edge and don't rip it off. That way your trash is still in one piece. And then we take our government issued spoon, our entrenching tool, and we can dig in. It basically is like a canned, really dry stew. See if you can see that. It smells better than it looks. Let's see how it tastes. It's alright. It does, taste familiar. I mean, tastes like food. It's not particularly good, but that'll work. Let's see about our chicken patty here. It's the same thing. Cut it, leave it attached. And that's our chicken patty. Looks mostly like a chicken patty. You can tell this was definitely ground and compressed, but again, it's edible for camping food. And I'm out here on a hunting trip, so this will work for me. Another nice thing about an MRE is when you're done with your meal, you just take this bag and you can put all your trash back up in here. Package it all in one easy container. I especially do this when I'm backpacking and I gotta pack all my trash out. So MREs, in summary, can be a good option for backpacking or hunting trips. I wouldn't need them all the time, but hopefully that gives you a little more info if you're looking into ordering some. Thanks. So after I was done and packing it all up, I opened up the moist towelette. Definitely not moist at all. You never know what you're gonna get.